welcome back to my annual most complimented perfumes according to you video. This is my 4th video now in this little series that I started a few years back. And it's funny because every time this time of the year rolls around, I start getting comments over here and on my Instagram like, girl, when is the most complimented perfumes according to you video coming out? Honestly, this year it kind of snuck up on me, and it was only because of those comments that I was like, oh, it's already that time. And actually I feel like I'm a few days late because normally I film these videos around the end of February and we're already middle March. So sorry I'm a little bit late, but better late than never. This year's most complimented perfume kind of shocked me. It's always a little bit shocking because it's kind of different every year. It shocked me but also didn't, because it also totally makes sense why it got the most votes. Basically, if you're new to these videos, every year on my Instagram and here on YouTube, I put up a poll asking you what your most complimented perfume of the previous year was. And as always, I got a lot of entries and I basically tally up each perfume that got the same votes. I have them all here in my journal. By the way, how beautiful is this little journal? It's stunning. But the verdict is in here, and I'm going to do this video in a top 10 manner, but in certain rankings there was multiple perfumes that kind of tied for that rank, so just bear with me. We're gonna go through a good amount of perfumes until we get to the very end. I'm gonna start off with number 10 being kind of the ones that got, you know, maybe just a few here and there, to the number 1 most complimented perfume according to you that got an overwhelming amount of the same votes. And as I always say in these videos, don't skip to the end to find out. Don't cheat. Watch all the way through so we can kind of get the build up to the very most complimented perfume. With that said, let us begin this year's most complimented perfumes according to you. Starting off in 10th place, these perfumes got like 1 or 2 people that mentioned them, but it's still on this list. There is 4 perfumes that tied in this ranking, starting with Bianco Latte. I honestly expected Bianco Latte to be a little bit further into this list, but hey, here we are. Every year it's different, and this year Bianco Latte happened to just rank a little bit lower. I'll do a little brief explanation of some of these perfumes, at least the ones that I've smelled, obviously. And with Bianco Latte, I mean, I'm sure most of us know what this smells like at this point because it's such a popular scent, but it's basically just your really intense gourmand scent. Super creamy, smells like cookies, just extremely decadent, gourmand, and edible. Following that, also in 10th place, came Britney Spears Fantasy. This was so random, but I also feel like this perfume, even though it's so old, it kind of pops in these videos here and there, so it's kind of interesting that it's still circulating even in 2026. And I mean, how long has this perfume been out? Must have been out at least a decade at this point. I would have to agree, because when I wear Fantasy, I still get compliments to this day. So we love Fantasy, even though it is a little bit lower on this list. Next in 10th place is Cosmic from Kylie Jenner. Love Cosmic, one of my personal favorites. Such a beautiful, just kind of more simple, warm floral scent, really feminine, girly, not too mature, just your run-of-the-mill good compliment getting fragrance. And then the last perfume that tied for 10th place was Missing Person from Fleur. I have heard this perfume does get a lot of compliments. I personally do not like Missing Person. To me, it smells a little too musky. I do like a little bit of musk in my scents, but with this one, it kind of just passed the threshold of musk that I personally enjoy, and it just became a little too musk, heading into that weird, not so good musk scent that I don't like. It kind of honestly reminded me of the Body Shop White Musk, which, if you know, you know. If you've been with me that long to know about my lore with the Body Shop White Musk, then you know I do not like that. So those are all the fragrances tied for 10th place. Going up the list, in 9th place, there was also 4 perfumes that tied, starting with Pink Sugar. So also interesting. I had to look last year, and last year Pink Sugar was a little bit higher up in the list. This year is a little bit down, but I guess there's also just a lot more perfume releases coming out every year, so people then kind of discover those, and so the older scents kind of take a step back. So maybe that's what happened here. But Pink Sugar obviously is just a very basic cotton candy burnt sugar kind of scent. I feel like we all know what Pink Sugar smells like at this point. Next, in 9th place, Flower Bomb. For me, Flower Bomb is a super generic scent. I've had it on and off in my collection so many times, and I always end up decluttering it because I never wear it. It just doesn't stand out in my collection. Never has. I get excited when I get it, and then within 2 weeks, I've forgotten about it, and then it just ends up sitting there until I eventually declutter it. So no more Flower Bomb in my collection. It's pretty, but I feel like there's so many perfumes like Flower Bomb, although obviously it does get compliments. It's on this list, but yeah, personally not one of my favorites. Then we have Baccarat. This one really shocked me because I expected Baccarat and Cloud to be a little bit higher up on this list. I remember, I don't know if it was last year. Actually, no, last year was Burberry Goddess. But the prior year, I believe the top most complimented was Cloud, which is the dupe for Baccarat. Baccarat? I've been saying Baccarat so much lately because I mix Baccarat Rouge into one word. But like I said earlier, it just goes to show how other perfumes, newer scents that come out kind of take the spotlight away from these really more iconic scents. So that was interesting that Baccarat ended up being on 9th place. I really expected Baccarat to still be a lot higher up on this list. And then last one is Eilish from Billie Eilish. Love Eilish. This is such a good decadent vanilla without being too gourmand. It's still wearable and it's sexy. It has a little bit of spice notes, and it's literally the most delicious indulgent vanilla fragrance ever. If you want a true good vanilla, get Eilish. Let's move into 8th place. So in 8th place, there were 3 perfumes that tied, starting with Victoria's Secret Bare Suede Vanilla. This was interesting because this is not a perfume I hear about a whole lot, but it came up as an answer for a good amount of people, so I was kind of shocked to see this. Now it makes me want to go smell this. I'm pretty sure I've smelled the original Bare, but I believe this suede vanilla is a flanker to the Bare line. I've never smelled it, so I can't really speak about it too much, but let me know if you have it and if it's a really good vanilla. Next in 8th place was Chanel Chance Eau Tendre. Definitely expected this to be on this list. I'm pretty sure we've seen it in previous years as well, because this is just your run-of-the-mill standard, just really good fruity freshy from Chanel. In my opinion, coming from Chanel, it has that higher price point, and for a scent like this, I think there's other scents that are way more affordable that give you just about the same scent. So for me, it is a little bit of an overpriced scent, but at the same time, I do hear people raving about how much it gets them compliments. And even my mom, I had Chanel Chance Eau Tendre at one point, and I ended up declaring it and giving it to my mom. And my mom would literally tell me every single day that she would get multiple comments at her work, literally every single day. So I totally get it, even though I personally find it just, I mean, it is a little generic, but it's definitely overpriced in my opinion. I think Versace Bright Crystal is kind of along the same vibe and would probably get you just as many compliments. But anyway, I don't know why I'm like giving my full opinion for some of these. And lastly, tied for 8th place was Blanche Bête. I love Blanche Bête. I have it in my collection. This is a beautiful electronic musky scent. It smells so ethereal. This perfume smells like Arwen to me. What I imagine Arwen from Lord of the Rings would have smelled like, just super ethereal and very elf like. Okay, let's move into 7th place. 7th place was actually quite a bit. We're getting more towards like the middle fragrances here, and 6th place and 7th place had a good amount of fragrances. There was 9 perfumes that tied for 7th place, so I'm gonna just quickly go over them, starting with Miss Dior Parfum. I have smelled Miss Dior, never smelled Miss Dior Parfum, so can't speak much about it. Next was Delina Exclusive. I expected to see Delina somewhere in this list, although shockingly the original Delina is not on this list, but it was only the Delina Exclusive. I do understand that though, because the exclusive version has more of that vanilla and it's a tad bit sweeter than the original, so I get it. Then there's Versace Dylan Purple. This was kind of a random one that I didn't expect to see, but again, it kind of goes to show a lot of these more freshy scents get a lot of compliments. Next, I was really happy to see Mac Turquatic be on this list because you guys know I absolutely love Mac Turquatic. Just the most amazing aromatic aquatic scent that is way better than any other of this scent profile in my opinion, and it's such an oldie but a goodie, clearly, because it made it to this list. Then there's Alien, also really happy to see and totally understand. I love Alien. The Alien is a jasmine bomb, but a really unique take on jasmine. Then we have Gucci Gorgeous Magnolia. I also have this in my collection, and I feel like this perfume is so underrated. I don't hear anybody really talking about the Gorgeous Magnolia. Most people are still talking about Gorgeous Gardenia, which is the original, but Gorgeous Magnolia is so good and it's so much sweeter. It's a really warm floral and definitely emphasis on the warmth. It's got a lot of sweetness to it. It's like a dewberry purple sweet fragrance. Then Givenchy Irresistible, which is one that is really highly complimented for me personally in my personal life. And then we have Valea from Delina. I've also heard really great things. I do have a little sample of Valea that I wear from time to time, and Valea I would say is like a white floral, musky, really clean scent, but really unique and also pretty wearable. It's not too aldehydic or overly mature. And lastly, for 7th place was Yara from Lattafa. Personally, I'm a little tired of Yara. I've had it for a while, and so it doesn't excite me now. A day is too much, but it is a good one if you're into the scent profile of Cheirosa 62 from Sol de Janeiro, the OG Bum Bum Cream and all of that. Yara falls within a very, very similar scent profile to that. All right, we are getting close to the top 5, so let's get the number 6 spot out of the way. This is the last one that had a good amount of fragrances, and then we're getting up into the ones that had like just 2 or 3 tied. The 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place all are just single perfumes. In 6th place, there was 5 perfumes that tied for this spot, starting with Vanilla 28 from Kayali, which love to see. Love Vanilla 28. I feel like there's always going to be compliments on just a really good woodsy vanilla, and Vanilla 28 is just that. Then there's Glossier You, which I also totally understand. I absolutely love and totally gets a ton of compliments from me as well in my personal collection, because it's just such a good irisy, woodsy, musky scent that literally I've gotten compliments every time I wear that scent. Then we have Cloud. Okay, so Cloud did pop up. Definitely a little bit lower on the list, so it's really interesting how a scent one year can be at the top as the number 1 most complimented and then just go to 6th place the next year. Following that is Burberry Her in 6th place as well. Burberry Her is your strawberry version of Baccarat Rouge and Cloud pretty much. Then there's Fleur Vanilla Skin, so another woodsy vanilla that tied for the same spot as Vanilla 28, so that's interesting. And then lastly, La Vie Belle. You guys know how I feel about La Vie Belle. I'm a little bored of La Vie Belle, but I feel like this perfume pops up every single year because people are still wearing it and loving it and apparently getting a ton of compliments. So yeah, you know what, with La Vie Belle it's interesting because on me I find it super generic and I don't like it. Sometimes though, when I smell it on other people, it kind of tends to smell differently. I've actually complimented a few people not knowing that they were wearing La Vie Belle, which is crazy because that scent is so specific and I feel like I can point it out right away. But I feel like in certain people it just smells different. So I've ended up complimenting it on people, even though I personally just feel like it's so boring. So no offense to all the La Vie Belle lovers out there. Let's get into the top 5 spots. There was 4 perfumes that tied for top 5, 4 perfumes that tied for top 4, and then like I said, for the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd spot, it was one singular perfume that earned those spots. The 4 perfumes that tied for 5th place, we have Maud Vanilla from Ariana Grande. I love Maud Vanilla. This is a plummy, woodsy vanilla, like other woodsy vanillas, but you have that plummy aspect, and I feel like that just adds so much to the scent. I love, love, love Maud Vanilla. Then we have Acqua di Gioia. I have a hard time saying this, from Armani. This scent I also feel like pops into these videos every now and then in different rankings. It's a little bit of a random scent and a scent that has been out for a while, but apparently people are still getting tons of compliments on it. There's also been a lot of flankers to this line. I believe we're talking here about the OG Acqua di Gioia, which is like this really freshy, a little aquatic kind of scent. Then we have Angham by Lattafa. Angham is pretty much the dupe version for Burberry Goddess, and Burberry Goddess will show up in this list, but a little bit further up. Not number 1, which it was last year's number 1, but it's not this year, but it will be on this list. So it's interesting that the dupe is also on this list. Kind of goes to show, you know, they both get compliments. You don't need to spend more money on the OG. And then the last one that tied for 5th spot is Versace Crystal Noir. Totally makes sense. This is definitely another one that's a little bit of an oldie, but it's such a unique perfume that it smells so specific, and it's such a dark coconut scent, and it's so good. And so I'm always really happy to see it on these lists. All right, let's move into 4th place. 4th place is also 4 perfumes, starting with, this is really interesting because there's been so many new releases, and to see this perfume be so high up on this list still, even after so many years, is kind of crazy, and that is Good Girl. So Good Girl is still popping up and honestly pretty high up into this list as 4th place. That means that a good chunk of people said Good Girl was their most complimented, and I totally believe it because even for me, this scent still to this day when I wear it, which is not so often anymore because I test out other scents, but it still gets me tons of compliments. Then following that in 4th place is Prada Paradox. This is another one I expected to see because it's kind of one of those mainstream, really popular scents of now, like today, I feel like Prada Paradox is the good girl of what good girl was in its time. Did that make sense what I just said? Hopefully. Then that's followed by Eclair. It's so interesting to me when two perfumes that are dupes of each other get put in these lists, but one will rank lower than the other, and it's more interesting when the one that gets ranked higher is the dupe. We had Bianco Latte in, what was it, in 10th place show up, right? Yeah, in 10th spot. But yet the dupe for Bianco Latte, which is Eclair, is showing up in the 4th place. Is that because more people are wearing Eclair as opposed to Bianco Latte, so they're getting more compliments on it because more people have that? Or is that just because the dupe is getting more compliments? I don't know, but interesting. And like I said, Burberry Goddess will show up in this list, and it is here in 4th place that Burberry Goddess is tied this year. Interesting, because it was 1st place last year. And now we get into the top 3. These 3 had the most votes, obviously from number 1 being the most, but all 3 of these were pretty high up there, and each one of these had one perfume, no other ties. In 3rd place, the winner is Victoria's Secret Tease Sugar Fleur. It's a Victoria's Secret perfume. It's not even like a mainstream designer, and I'm pretty sure this scent came out kind of a while ago now. And I had to literally go on my own channel to see if I've ever talked about or owned or reviewed this perfume, and I have. So, and I don't have this perfume anymore, so that tells me that I've decluttered it somewhere along the way. And from what I saw from my own video, it looks like this was a marshmallowy, sugary, sweet take on Tease from Victoria's Secret, which sounds right up my alley. And it's now coming up on a couple years that I haven't smelled this perfume, and to be honest, sometimes even a perfume that I've smelled years and years ago I'll still remember, but I feel like because I don't remember this, it probably did not really leave a mark on me. And also with the fact of it being decluttered out of my collection, I feel like this just didn't really stand out for me personally. But I mean, in theory, this sounds absolutely delicious, and clearly so many people are enjoying it, not just for themselves, but are finding themselves getting a ton of compliments. I think this is discontinued. I'm pretty sure this wasn't a limited edition flanker to the Tease line. In fact, let me check right now. Oh no, actually, it's still on the Victoria's Secret website. It's also available in store. Okay, maybe it wasn't limited edition. I don't know why I thought that this was limited edition, or maybe they ended up bringing this scent back. I feel like maybe something like that happened with this scent. It was one of those that was really popular that they did discontinue, but they brought back because of, I guess, popular demand. But yeah, interesting. 3rd spot for VS Tease Sugar Fleur. In the 2nd spot, this perfume is kind of boring, but also I totally understand. Valentino Donna Born in Roma. This perfume also pops up every single year in these videos somewhere in there, and this year it happened to be pretty high up there in 2nd spot. That means a lot of people said this was their most complimented. I mean, we're almost at the 1st spot, so kind of crazy that still after all these years Donna Born in Roma is still getting this many compliments for people. And I mean, I totally believe it, and I find the same for myself as well, because this is just a really good boozy bourbon vanilla, but still has that sweet girly pink aspect while still being sexy and mature. Definitely more of a mainstream perfume though, but clearly it's getting people compliments. And now we have made it to the 1st spot. Before we get into what it actually is, right now pause this video and in the comments tell me what your prediction is of the number 1 spot, of what you think it will be this year. It was kind of shocking, but also kind of not, when I realized how good this perfume smelled, and I have it right here next to me. So drum roll. Okay, the number 1 spot for the top most complimented perfume, according to you guys, was Kayali Yum Bougie Marshmallow. I was so happy when I saw that, because literally I was doing my little tallying up and I was writing all the perfumes that I got for entries, and it was so many people. As soon as I started tallying up, it became very apparent to me that this was gonna be the winner, because I felt like every other entry or every 2 entries it was people talking about Kayali Yum Bougie Marshmallow. I love this scent, not just from these entries but even on TikTok, and when I hear anybody talk about this, it's always, oh, I get trillions of compliments on this, and I totally understand. This is a strawberry marshmallow powder scent in the best way. It's so decadent and delicious, but it's not that cloying. I mean, maybe that's coming from somebody that loves really delicious dessert kind of scents, but I don't find it that nauseating. I can tell you, even being a sweet lover, if a perfume is nauseating and super sweet, and I just don't think that that's the case for this. I feel like because this has some fruity, upbeat notes, it never really lets it get to that point. This has key notes of freesia, strawberry, pink marshmallow, creamy coconut, whipped vanilla, and pink musk. And all I will say is, if you are a gourmand girly, if you love marshmallow and you love to smell like sweet anything, and especially if you grew up being a pink sugar from Aquilina girl, this is gonna now be your upgraded version of that scent. So happy that that was the winner this year. That concludes this year's most complimented perfume according to you. I had a lot of fun making this, as always. I loved tallying everything up, and thank you again for anybody that participated and sent me entries and pretty much participated in the making of this video, because that was really helpful. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and let me know, now that you know the answer, if you were right or not. Maybe make a little update on your comment. That is it for me today. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and turn your post notifications on, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.